So we finally got to the last step in crime scene investigation and the last word in the COPPER abbreviation, which is crime scene reconstruction. So crime scene reconstruction is the method used to support a likely sequence of events at a crime scene by observing and evaluating physical evidence and statements made by individuals involved with the incident. Therefore, the proper recording and preservation of the scene, as well as using proper collection methods, will give us the best chance for a most accurate reconstruction. It is important to realize that this is a collaborative effort among police officers, crime scene investigators, forensic scientists, medical examiners, investigators, and other personnel involved. And the process of reconstruction must be supported by facts and evidence and not by some superior mental abilities like those of the CSI show actors. The primary aim of crime scene reconstruction is to identify the correct suspect and bring him or her to justice. Now, physical evidence left behind at the crime scene plays a crucial role in reconstructing the sequence of events surrounding the crime. Analysis of all available data will help to create a workable model for reconstruction, while misinterpretation of evidence at any stage can lead to the most serious issues, such as prosecution of the wrong person or prosecution of the right person for the wrong crime. And here, the advanced technologies such as 3D scanning and image analysis can also be very helpful for crime scene reconstruction. Overall, reconstruction is a complex process that involves the use of inductive and deductive reasoning, probability, statistics, and part analysis, among many other disciplines. For a factual, unbiased reconstruction of the events, the investigator should rely on his or her training, experience, and obviously professional knowledge, and not on intuition, although sometimes intuition can be actually helpful. Now, there are various types of forensic evidence analysis which can help with crime scene reconstruction, and we will discuss these later in this course. So finally, I would like to briefly talk about one last important topic. So today we have been focusing on the basics of crime scene investigation, but it's also important to remember that it is just a part of the process. So we must look at the whole picture and use a holistic approach to the evidence. And in relation to this point, I would like to look at these three links of the same chain or arms of the law enforcement and criminal justice system that interlink. So the investigative arm, the police, which is essentially feeding information into the legal system and relies on its verdict. The forensic science, which is feeding information to and from the police, but also interacting with the justice system. And the justice system itself, which relies on the information provided by these two parties to reach a decision in the matters of life and death. So all three interact continuously in this never-ending cycle. And this process usually begins at the crime scene, which is a highly disorganized place, right? It's not a controlled environment. So you have, dead bodies, people who were hurt physically and mentally, panicking and screaming neighbors, friends and family, police, ambulances, firefighters, you name it. A total mess, right? And then we have a legal system, which is probably the most organized and regulated part of our society. And then we have the forensic science, which sort of fits somewhere in between, trying to help organize something very disorganized into something very organized, which makes forensic science a unique science. So through this process of turning information from a very disorganized form into a highly organized form, forensic science is getting challenged with numerous complexities related to the evidence. These complexities relate to a compromised quality and quantity of the traces collected at a crime scene, highly specialized knowledge and technical procedures that need to be developed and extensively validated as well as applied to the evidence analysis, and a lot of uncertainty of what is the nature of this evidence, why it is there, how it got there, when it got there, who might it come from, and how all these information fits into the case. Remember those 6 questions we raised at the beginning? And this complexity is very much related to the context, as every case is unique. It is also related to that special interaction of forensic science with the legal system by essentially placing the evidence in the context of legal issues and in accordance with the rules of evidence and nuances of adversarial system. What is the nature of the contact? How long ago did it take place? How long was the contact? What is the nature of the deposited trace? Is it blood or hair or fingerprints or gunshot residue? How much of that material was transferred through that contact? What is the nature of the substrate it was found on? Is it plastic, cotton, or skin? What sort of physical activity led to deposition of these traces? So these are the different questions that a forensic scientist can ask. The court, on the other hand, wants to know, did O.J. Simpson murder Nicole Brown and her boyfriend or not? And this is a very different question which we as forensic scientists cannot really answer. I mean, maybe we can in theory, but this is really beyond the area of our professional expertise. And this finally brings us back to the main role of forensic science, which is to translate the relevant legal questions into scientific questions and provide objective information which can be used by the legal system to make reliable evidence-based decisions. So if forensic science is unable to do this, it is pretty much useless. Okay, so here are the recommended readings for this and the previous weeks of Module 1, Chapters 1, 2, 3, and just the first page of Chapter 4, which talks about the crime scene reconstruction. Please make sure to check Canvas on a regular basis for additional materials that I post there, and make sure to submit all the assignments, the review questions, the virtual labs, discussion questions by its due date. If you have